Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem. So inshallah, in this lesson, we're going to be discussing more characteristics about the verb. And we're going to discuss in this lesson here the gender of the verb. So, what we're saying here, just as a noun, we said what? In nouns, we said this ding, D-I-N-G. A noun can be definite, indefinite. It can have number and gender. So a verb also has gender. Okay? So just as a noun has gender, we say this noun is mudhakkar and this noun is mu'annath. Similarly, we can say this verb is mudhakkar and this verb is mu'annath. Okay? So what happens by default? The verbs that we get in the table, in the vocabulary list, fa'ala yaf'alu, sami'a yasma'u, dhalama yadhlimu, qama yaqumu, ghaba yaghibu, all of these are what? Mudhakkar. So by default, the default ones that are given are what? Mudhakkar. Okay? Now, if you want to make the madhi mu'annas, what do you have to do? You get a ta, the sakin at the end, and you add this ta onto the verb. So for example, if you have fa'ala, you add this ta on the end. And what happens? It becomes fa'alat. Okay? So fa'ala becomes fa'alat. Yes? You got it? To make the mudari feminine, what do? The ya at the beginning, you change that to a ta. Okay? So for example, yaf'alu becomes what? Taf'alu. I feel like sneezing, but I can't. So yaf'alu and taf'alu. So the ya, this ya becomes what? Ta. And now this verb becomes what? Feminine. You got it? So you add a ta with a sakin at the end, a sukoon at the end, and that becomes what? The madhi becomes mu'annath. And you change a ya at the beginning to a ta, and that becomes what? Feminine. The mudhari becomes feminine. Ja'ala. How to make ja'ala feminine? What do I say? Pata then. How do you read it? Ja'alat. Yaj'alu. How do you make yaj'alu feminine? Taj'alu. How do you make sa'ala feminine? Sa'alat. How do you make yas'alu feminine? Tas'alu. Safara becomes safarat. And yusafiru becomes tusafiru. Okay? So recap of the verbs. You have ism, fa'il and harf, but we're dealing with fa'il here. And one characteristic of the verb is what? The first characteristic then was what? Tense. It can either be al-madhi, al-mudari' or al-amr. Al-madhi is which tense? Past tense. Al-mudari is which tense? Present tense, continuous or habitual. Or it can also be the mudari, can also be future tense. And al-amr is the command. We'll do that later on, inshallah. And i'rab, what's i'rab? It's either going to be mabni or mu'rab. If it's mabni, the madhi and amr, these are mabni. They don't have any marfu, mansub, majzoom. And then the mu'rab, they're either going to be, what's mu'rab? The fa'il mudari. The fa'il mudari is what? Mu'rab, meaning it changes its state. What are the three states? Marfu', mansub and majroor. Not majroor, majzoom. Yes, correct. Majzoom. Marfu', mansub and majzoom. In terms of affirmation and negation, it can be what? Muthbat. Muthbat means what? The action actually happened. What do you call that? Muthbat. In English? Affirmation. That the action happened. And if it's negation, you call that? Manfi. What are the particles of negative? Ma, la, lam, and lan. Ma comes on madhi, and it makes the madhi what? Negative in the past tense. Lam comes on the mudari and makes the mudari negative in the past tense. Ma comes on the mudari and makes it negative in the present tense. La comes on the mudari and makes it negative in present or future. And lan comes on the mudari and makes it negative in the future with emphasis. And which one of these makes it majzoom? Lam makes the word after it majzoom, and lan makes the word after it mansoob. And now we then gender. It can either be mudhakkar or it can be mu'annath. How do you make it mudhakkar? By adding a ta. Mudhakkar is the default, and you add a ta to make it mu'annath. A ta with a sakin at the end to make the madhi mu'annas, and a ta you change the ya at beginning to a ta to make the mudari muannath. You with me? سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك.